Modern Monday.
I got a weird package in the mail. The return address is from a doctor, Dr. Peter Shirtcliffe. I opened it to find this box. It's marked classified, and on the side it says Jepson files. So what kind of top secret information is in this box? Let's find out. Okay. All right. So, somebody sent me a box of pancakes. All right. So now we have some folders here. Let's see. All right. So it's a newspaper article from 1889. So the article is about a man named Jepson opening a new pancake factory. Judging by the way it's deliberately ripped and the age of the paper, it has to be fake. But if somebody went through the effort to make a fake newspaper article, then why not make it about something more interesting? And there's more. So far everything's had to do with pancakes. So maybe this will help explain. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Oh my God. Who sent me this? Is it Bigfoot? I thought somehow these things would all relate, but it's just somebody pulling my leg, I think. James, I trust these materials reached your office intact and all's well with you. I fear I've discovered something people won't want to believe, but it's vital you have my back on this. See enclosed evidence. I'll be in contact to explain more soon. Wow, I've had some weird packages before. Once somebody sent me a book of Hamlet and a roll of toilet paper. But this, maybe there's more to it. Is this all just a bunch of random nonsense, or is it actually going somewhere? The doctor even threw in some business cards with phone numbers and websites. I looked them up, and they all seem to point to an actual hospital. Now, truth be told, I got this package years ago. I looked it over with Mike and Bootsy, and we all laughed our asses off. The only conclusion we came to was that it was somebody pulling a joke, nothing more. But then, a second package came. It contained a new letter from the doctor, a winning trophy for a flapjack festival. Yeah, the pancake theme's still going on. There's an ad for the flapjack festival. But then things take a dark turn with a newspaper clipping about murders. Also, a piece of a bloody shirt, a photo of bloody pancakes, and then this. This is the first photo that looked deliberately staged. Now it's clear that there's something to it, a movie tie-in or something. With the first package, I just laughed it off and moved on, but this time I looked further into it. I found that another website, Shock Till You Drop, was receiving the same packages, and it was a viral marketing campaign for an independent horror film. The third and final package I received contained a lunchbox full of items from Good Friends Church Camp and behind-the-scenes photos. The movie, Lumberjack Man, was released in 2015. I saw it on cable on demand, so it's out there now. Had it not been for these packages, I probably wouldn't have heard about it. I think it was a very clever idea. When promoting an independent film, sometimes you have to be creative. This isn't just a movie review, it's more of a review about the viral marketing behind it. But here's the review part. It's set on a campground where there's lots of drugs and sex going on, and there's an undead serial killer who's murdering people. It's your typical slasher plot, except the backstory for the killer, the lumberjack, is something that I guarantee you've never heard before. There's an animated sequence explaining that he was murdered by Mr. Jepson for his pancake recipe. Because his pancakes were so good, Jepson drowned him in syrup, stole his recipe, and made a fortune off it. Now the lumberjack is back from the dead and stalking the campground. Everywhere he goes, he's pulling a wagon full of giant pancakes, which he sometimes uses to smash people's faces apart. Yes, killing them with the pancakes or using their blood for syrup. Obviously, this is not a serious film. It's more like a spoof of the slasher genre, and it goes full steam ahead with the exploitation. There is boobs, boobs, and more boobs, and of course blood, blood, and more blood. It reminds me of a trauma film. The funniest part, I think, is a scene where some guys are spying on a girl who's getting undressed. I think Animal House was the first big example of that cliche, but this is probably the funniest, most exaggerated version of the window voyeur trope I've ever seen. Not only does she undress completely, but she touches herself all over and covers her body in lotion. When would that ever happen? There's some pretty good kills. The effects are much better than you'd expect for a low-budget movie, and all around, the production design and cinematography is all good. If you compare it to Sleepaway Camp and the first couple Friday the 13th movies, it looks great, so visually it's better than a lot of the movies it's spoofing. The acting is all traditionally terrible, with lots of disposable characters who are introduced to be almost immediately killed, such as the cocaine-snorting bus driver. But there's one standout performance. Michael Madsen, who I've always known best from Reservoir Dogs, he's awesome playing the part of Dr. Peter Shirtcliffe, the character who was supposedly writing me the letters. So now when I read the letters, I can imagine it in his voice. The doctor is investigating the trail of the killer. His role fits the same purpose as Dr. Loomis in Halloween. While there are lots of funny moments to keep you entertained, there's also lots of parts that drag. For example, it opens with a scene on a school bus that lasts for roughly 6 minutes. There's many scenes like that where you just want to move on. It sticks to the basic slasher formula, so it doesn't feel like anything that radically different. Even though it twists some of the cliches or exaggerates them a bit, it still comes off a bit like old material. But if you're in that kind of mood, check it out.